What's up, everyone? I wanted to jump on and give a brief overview of my system, how things are potentially a bit different inside of what I do versus what you've seen taught elsewhere online right now, which is the current model, which is prevalent in the space, is all based around high ticket, painful model. It's really set up so you sell a set duration at a set price on the front end, and then you have to upsell or downsell. Just basically you have to resell the people at the back end to continue on with you. It kind of ignores low ticket and says, like, don't bother with that, it's a waste of time, and go straight from free value, put out tons of content, tons of free stuff, have a free group, and then hopefully convert from that to high ticket, which will work to some degree, which it's just a percentage game. It's a volume and numbers game, which does work, but it tends to be exhausting, and it really sets you up to only be able to grow in one way, which we'll talk about here in a bit. You, like I said, you ask for the painful first, and then you can downsell from there. So it's built around project this big price, get the gasp, and then downsell into a payment plan, which is not the same thing as reoccurring payments. They're different. And then also, it leaves a lot of opportunity on the table, in my opinion. So if you don't have a big audience, if you have a smaller audience and you're trying to maximize efficiency within that smaller audience, there's a much better way, which is what I'm going to just overview really quickly for you guys, so you have a picture of what it is that I do, what I talk about, and why. The hybrid coaching model really optimizes for getting a yes on the front end, maximizing the number of people that say yes to working with you and are able to. And then there's other ways that we can get different pay in fulls and higher price clients out of it. But if you're thinking about a pool of 100 people, there's 1 to 3%, 1 to 3 people inside of that 100 that will pay the high ticket pricing. So you constantly have to get another 100 to find those 1 to 3. But instead, if we just maximize the efficiency of those 100, because there's people in there that won't pay the high ticket, but they'll pay you something else, which is really what we're looking for here. There's higher conversions on the front end because it's easier to say yes to a lower price than it is a higher price. You can still get pay in fulls if that's what you want. We'll talk about how to do that over the course of the trainings that I put out. You sell once to keep people for a very long time. That's kind of optimal here. We're looking to increase the lifetime value and not play in this constant game of just reselling people on high ticket and potential services they don't need. It's really a simple method for identifying and finding the buyers in your audience that are willing to pay you something, because if they're willing to pay you something, they will probably pay you more. They'll buy into the other things. They're the ones that are most likely to anyway. And so inside of this whole document's a bit more in depth, but just going through the foundational principles for you guys. There's 3 things that I want you to understand inside of this model, is that there's 3 phases kind of the people coming to you. There's leads, there's customers, and there's clients. A lead is someone that is giving you permission to communicate with them. A customer is someone who has bought something from us, which is usually like one-off purchases or experiences with us. And then a client is someone that's committed to us in the long term that we put time and resources into. That's like the in-depth relational type client work that you're looking to make a transformation over a very long period of time. And all of this is predicated on understanding those different phases and steps and having products and services within them that allow for people to experience what we do at these different levels, right? So that's fundamentally how this is different, right? I teach start with the high ticket stuff first still, like you still want to start there, because if you're just starting out and you have a really small audience and no one knows you, it's hard to make money on low ticket. But we don't just do high ticket, and we don't do sales calls and high pressure sales and stuff like that. We get 5 to 10 one-on-one clients. We then build a community, a group program around those 5 to 10. They become the core of our culture. Then we build our community offer, and then we go find people to put the offer in front of through a Google Doc. That's, in my opinion, the best way to sell, the most, connection-based way to do this. You can 100% get on calls, but they're not sales calls. We're not persuading them to buy. And then you use low ticket one-off purchases or low ticket memberships to identify the people that are good fits for the next stages in the model. More to come on this, but this is a bit an overview of how I think about things differently than the classic high ticket model, which is taught today.